Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So it is Saturday, May 20th, right at 10:30 in the morning. Temperature is pretty cool. It's overcast as well, if you can't tell. It's about 66 degrees. Humidity is 86%. It's a very light misting rain. So I don't think I'm gonna be out here too long, not because of that, but I've been kicking around the idea of giving the hives a full week break in between inspections, which would mean I would get into them every 2 weeks. We'll take a closer look at that one and one of the hives in the very last position. But there are a ton of bees hanging out on the entrance. And I have learned this lesson in the past, is when the weather isn't that great, when it's overcast and the conditions are like this, there's gonna be a lot of bees in the hive, and proceed with caution is what I'll say. So I'm probably not gonna get into the bees this week. However, as some of y'all know that keep bees, there's always work to do. So I ended up buying 20 deep frames and 20 medium frames from Man Lake and a bottom board. They came in the other day, and the main reason for that is I am running out of equipment and frames, and that very last 10 frame box with the garden lid, I believe is what it's called, missing a bottom board. So I found that out as I was kind of moving some equipment around recently, and they don't have any frames in there because some of my frames are pretty old and they're falling apart. So it was a good time to resupply some stuff, especially frames. So yeah, that's that quick introduction for this video. No hive inspection. I'm just gonna outfit some boxes, some woodenware with some frames, and actually get to swarm number 11 here, which is why I have the ladder over my back. So check out that video, should be pretty interesting. Same process, just gonna move the swarm trap from the tree to on top of the ladder, give them the better part of today, if not all the way through tomorrow, move them into some equipment. So speaking of that, I actually might, yeah, part of this video later on, the double 5-frame nuke, the double stack 5-frame nuke there. I'm trying to remember which hive that was, and nothing really comes to mind right now. But since I have a swarm to move, and I've had really good luck moving a swarm from a swarm trap into at least a single 5-frame, if not a double, depending how strong they are, of course. Since I'm running out of equipment, I might actually do that today. So move the double stack into a deep, which is why I ordered some frames, and then move the swarm later today, or probably tomorrow, into a single or a double stacked 5-frame nuke setup. But bees are looking pretty good. I will say this much, and this is one of the reasons I'm kind of hesitant to get into them today. If you see the amount of bees on that entrance just kind of hanging out, and then some nice activity, but then if we go down here to the hive with the 3 supers, kind of the same thing, a lot of bees at the entrance. And that is one of the reasons I think it's good to not get into the hives today, mainly because of the weather. And then seeing that, having learned some hard lessons in the past, usually when the weather is like this, overcast and just not the hottest or sunniest day, a lot of bees will stay in the hive. And all I will say is proceed with caution, because if a hive is full, you might have your hands full. But yeah, that's it for today. I'm just gonna do some work out here, get to swarm number 11, check out that video. That'll be the one before this, and then move some frames and some equipment around and get things set up for expanding. All right, down here at the hive in the very last position, they actually have some pretty nice activity on the front entrance in comparison to some of the other hives today. So I'm down here to get them moved out of the double stacked or the stacked 5-frame nuke boxes, and I'm gonna get them just moved over to some 10-frame equipment right next door. And like usual, once they're moved into the single 10 frame box. I'll slide that box into the location where the 5 frame is currently at, or the nuke boxes are currently at, to free up some equipment, because I have another swarm I need to eventually relocate this weekend. So that's the whole idea with moving the bees out of the stacked 5 frame into the single deep. So since that's all I plan on doing today, I'm just gonna let the camera roll. Be a pretty short video for the week. All right, I'll show you that real quick, kind of traditional first looks. So a lot of these frames were new, and there's not a ton of bees in the top box, but they have drawn out some very nice comb. So that's all I'm doing today. It's just a matter of moving them from this equipment to that equipment, because I need some equipment. So pretty easy, not much to it. I see the queen, I'll show her to you. Otherwise, I'm just moving frames. And this is what I usually do when I have a stacked nuke setup, is I'll move the top frames, or the frames from the top box. I'll move them onto the sides of the 10 frame equipment. Check that out. I have a pretty nice dense bottom box. I remember this from last week. This queen is just doing a fantastic job. They're bringing in a ton of nectar, because these frames are, I mean, they're just stuck together. Let's make some room, just because this is mainly the brood frames. Yeah, beautiful brood frames. Hey, look at that, both sides. All right, I'll show you what I'm looking at here in a second, so I get everything put back together. Decent amount of bees in the box, so I'm just gonna, like usual, just gonna bang them into the 10 frame, and then set this 10 frame on the ground, or I'm sorry, the 5 frame, set it on the ground. Just like that. Easy day. Slide this on over. Put everything back together. There you have it. It is that simple to transfer some frames from equipment to equipment, and creates just a little bit of chaos. But yeah, they'll all settle down. All the bees that are still hanging out in the 5 frame equipment they'll find their new home in just a matter of a few hours, so nothing to worry about. All right, hey, just a quick follow-up from today's video. So it's quite a few hours later. It's actually just about 6:30 in the evening, and I wanted to show y'all that it doesn't take long for all the bees to lose interest in their old home, old equipment. So as y'all saw, condensed this hive from a stacked 5 frame into the 10 frame there. And that's pretty much it for the week. So I got a few other things to do, but like I said earlier, I'm just gonna give the hives a break this week. So they'll go 2 full weeks between inspections, and that leaves me to be very curious to see how this hive, the one that I added the 3rd honey box last week, just how they will be doing and how that 3rd box will look next week. But that's it for me this week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Cole's Farm here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. If y'all are interested in beekeeping, have questions, just leave them in the comments below. Check us out on Instagram. Send us a DM for the same reasons if you have any questions or comments. Don't be afraid to reach out to us, folks. We're here to support. It's pretty much how I got started. Had some questions, asked some people, and decided to take the plunge. All right, thanks for watching. See y'all next week.